All right, we're going to get started here with the December 17th, 2025 Cheektowaga Zoning Board of Appeals call to order. If everyone could rise and please stand for the pledge to the flag. If you're wearing a hat, please remove your hat. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll start with a roll call of attendees and members. Ms. Werchak? Here. Mr. Kenny Young is present via Zoom. He is not able to vote on projects this evening, but Kenny Young is present via Zoom. He's sick. Mr. Miranda is absent. Ms. Alt? Here. And I am here. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the November minutes?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Werchak. All in favor? Ms. Werchak? Aye. Ms. Alt?
Aye.
All right, we're going to start with our first tabled item. Carrie Shank, Ryan Dwellers, 274 Huth Road. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to comment on 274 Huth Road? Okay, I will make a motion to table that to our January meeting. We can only table it till January. We'll table it to our January meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second, I guess.
Second by Ms. Werchak. On the motion, Ms. Alt?
Aye.
Ms. Werchak? Aye. And I vote aye. That motion, 274 Huth, is tabled until January. Next one is Annika Colson, AC Power, 48 LLC, Ingersoll Rand Company, 3695 Broadway. I will read your request. An area variance is requested by Annika Colson, AC Power, 48 LLC, Ingersoll Rand Company, for property located at 3695 Broadway, whereas the applicant Annika Colson of AC Power, on behalf of the owner Ingersoll Rand Company for 3695 Broadway, Cheektowaga, New York 14227, seeks to establish the land use of privatized battery energy storage, of which is not permitted nor defined within the M1 light manufacturing district. Anyone for the project, you have the floor.
Thank you. My name is Peter Sorgi. I'm with the law firm of Hopkins, Sorgi, McCarthy. It's Sorgi, S as in Sam, O-R-G-I. I am the project attorney. We were here last month. This is a battery energy storage systems project, the first one in the town. So last month, we requested that this be tabled so everyone could digest the information that we supplied. We are here tonight for a use variance. As Mr. Young stated, this is not,
No, this is listed as an area variance.
but it's a use. We applied for a use variance.
Well, it was publicized as an area variance.
I don't think it was last month, because I think as you read down through that list, you said to establish the use.
That's not how it was published.
Um,
So on that regard, not
Well,
to,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I will check.
Okay. Yep, I have the application here if you want. Okay.
Up.
Oh, you were looking that up, I'm sorry.
The application reads a use variance, so go ahead, sir.
Okay, sorry, thank you. So again, we're here for a use variance. This is not an allowed use in any portion of the town. It's not in the code yet. We have been in front of the Environmental Advisory Commission, who did recommend a negative declaration per seeker. We were also asked to give a presentation in front of the town board, because if we get past this stage, it would go to the town board for site plan review as well as the planning board. And we did make a presentation in front of the town board.
And when was that?
That would have been in the November meeting. We also met with the building inspector, with Dan Young and with the fire chiefs, because they had some concerns about.
And which fire
safety.
chiefs did you meet with?
I do not have their names here.
Do you know what fire districts you met with?
It was the district that we're in. I know that. There's 5 people in the meeting. I think someone was there from the engineering department as well. And we just had a meeting with them because I'm sorry? Yeah, on December 9th. Yes.
Jason Oldsma.
Yes, it was there.
Okay, he was there also.
I believe so, yes. So these are just things that we have done in preparation for this. We do have a number of people here with us tonight, which I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves and just with their roles, because they are here for any questions. I can address the use variance. And for this, this ZBA's role is somewhat limited, but we do know there's going to be questions that go beyond the scope of what you're looking at. So we did ask these people to come here. So if you can just introduce yourselves and your roles here real quickly.
I have the map you gave me, I believe, at the last meeting.
Yes,
And this is where you're planning on putting this unit that you're talking about right now?
yes, it's on approximately 1 acre of a 7-acre site.
Yeah, well, these people, Justin didn't see it. And there's a whole bunch of other items on about your project also. that I have been familiar with, but they have not been familiar with it. And reading all this stuff about it answers a lot of the questions that I had. I know that.
Okay, good.
And then I got a lot of the stuff from other areas from the county.
Okay,
And I mean, hey, we need electricity. We're gonna be living with it. If we don't have it, what are we gonna do?
okay,
And they're gonna have to find means and ways, other means and ways to develop. So,
okay.
I mean, these are some of the things we're gonna have to learn.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I apologize for interrupting. So you had a meeting with the fire chiefs on December 9th.
Yes,
For any fire chief was in attendance from the districts that would impact this project?
yes, it was the district that was, yes.
The district or surrounding districts?
There was 4 or 5 people there. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, Dan Young was there, I believe someone from the engineering department, and I think
Yes,
there
I'm familiar.
3
Dan Young was in attendance.
Yes. And it was just a preliminary meeting. It was the first meeting. We agreed that we would meet again when we got to the site plan and we had a full
And
site plan.
when are you having a follow-up meeting with the fire chiefs?
It will be once we submit our site plan application, which I would believe would be in about January or February. They wanted to see the full application first.
Well, I would like to be in attendance for that meeting.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be
So I
great.
can give you my email and I would like to be,
I'll grab it at the end.
I would like to be in attendance.
Okay.
And as far as who regulates it? The Public Service Commission, right? They take care of the building. It has to be the specs to them.
I think I should let some of the others speak to that if I could. Okay.
Fine.
All right. I mean, this is also something because it's a Superfund site that DEC has approval power and we've
Yeah,
met with them
we're
as
aware.
well.
We're aware.
Yes.
Can you state your name, please?
Gina Wolfman from AC Power. So you have not met me yet. Kinchuk, our project manager, was here for the last meeting. I'm the Senior Director of Development at AC Power, and we have our support team and our engineering team here. So Terry Simpson is from ARM Group. ARM is our engineering partner as well as our environmental consultant. We also have Eric Archibald here, and Eric is a fire safety expert, and he attended the meeting with the town officials and fire officials as well. And Andrew Hardigan is here from Cone Resnick. They're a property valuation and appraisal. He's an expert in property valuation. So since we were here last, we've accomplished a whole lot. Most of it is outside the variance standards, but because people had expressed concerns and wanted to learn more about best projects, we got ahead of ourselves and started initiating some work that would normally come later during the site plan review and approval process. So we've updated our site plan and layout. We've shifted it so that, oh, can we have the next slide, please? We shifted the layout, and Terry can speak to those slides later, so that now the facility is considered a remote battery storage facility under New York law. We've enhanced the landscape plan a little bit, fleshed it out.
What is the difference as a remote facility versus what was proposed prior?
Just Eric can speak to that more, but by setting it back, it's set 100 feet or more from all property lines. So it's just a matter of siting the facility more interior. And I believe that's for safety reasons as well. Landscaping and screening, we've expanded the plan, but then again, during site plan, it'll be an iterative process. We'll work with the board and do whatever is required or requested by the neighbors to satisfy them. Noise was another issue, or sound. So we had ARM Group, Terry's coworker, prepare a preliminary sound study, and he can speak to that in a few minutes. But we analyzed and modeled sound from the proposed equipment and compared it to the noise ordinance for the town, and everything looks good. So he'll get into more of that. We've engaged outside counsel as well to start doing the property tax modeling. This is a several $100 million project that will generate significant tax revenue to the town and the special districts. So that again gets expanded and finalized during the later steps of development site plan review. We have 2 steps with the Department of Environmental Conservation. We met with the remediation group a few days ago. So what we'd need to do for them is submit a notice of a change of use 60 days before, I believe, we touch the ground or break ground. And then we'll go to the permitting group in Region 9 as well. But the initial feedback was very supportive. This is a super fun site, regulated by DEC, and everyone or seems to believe that this is a very appropriate use for redevelopment of this type of site. Bring it back on the tax rolls and a higher and better use than what's there now. Again, we started some due diligence work. We had Terry's group do a phase 1 environmental assessment for us. It gives us great information about how the site's regulated, existing conditions, site history, and anything environmental. And it gives us a good foundation to go into our site planning. We've kicked off a couple of other agency reviews. So the SHPO, State Historic Preservation Office, they deal with cultural resources. That review is underway, as well as any threatened and endangered species. We look at the federal and state, and just to be sure we're cognizant of potential impacts to surrounding flora and fauna or any cultural resources, which we're not expecting due to the... What's that?
I'm surprised with SHPO. Why would you do?
Yeah, we just do it
Okay.
to be sure we cover everything. It's just part of the way we develop projects. We want to cover everything. And then again, we've hired but engaged Eric and Andrew for fire safety and property value assessment. Yeah, again, so all the work we've initiated will just continue into the next phase, into the site plan approval process, and all the documents that we've been working on will support that application down the road. But we wanted to be sure we address comments that had been raised at the last meeting, and in good faith, initiate that work now. So Terry can talk to you about the site plan and the noise study and a couple other things.
Good evening. My name is Terry Simpson. On the screen there, you'll see that is the new updated site plan. It's slightly different from what you have in front of you. We did move the batteries in all directions, 100 feet away from all property lines there. So it is considered a remote system now. Not too much has changed since that last one. We are proposing a drive access, a fenced facility around the batteries themselves, and then some underground conduit that would run out to some utility poles, which would then have the connection into the power grid out along Broadway.
Can you just repeat it a little slower? I know you know what you're talking about, but I've got to be able to.
Absolutely. So I'll start from the beginning there, just really quick.
You're going from the property line 100 feet, then you're going to put the fence around, then what?
Yep, there's going to be underground conduit.
Underground conduit.
Yep. Heading out, it's going to go north. It's then going to head west and back north up to Broadway. And then there's going to be 6 proposed utility poles. Those will be finalized once we have our interconnection and everything figured out with the power grid there, or the power company. And that's where we'll tie in up there along the north part of the property into the power grid. So we are proposing a landscape plan as shown on the drawing here, up to property owners if they'd like to have that full extent of that landscape plan. It's those green plants around the edge of all the properties there to kind of create a landscaping there.
How close are they going to be to those poles?
I'm not sure, but we are not, I would say approximately 30 to 40 feet away from those
Oh, it
poles
is,
there.
okay.
So as you can see there on the upper left hand of the screen there, where those proposed utility poles are located there, the proposed landscape screening would be right along the property line there, up to the property owners if they'd like to accept that or not. On that next slide, there's the
We have a question
Yeah.
from Mr. Kenny Young, who's here via Zoom. What will the underground lines be encased in?
yeah, some sort of conduit that would meet all electrical regulations and code and everything like that. Not too that far into the design just yet, but yeah, some sort of conduit there, so that would meet all codes.
Are there any other questions from the board?
Well, I have a lot of questions, mainly about fire. And I know you talked to the chiefs. I don't know anything about this, so. What I did want to know is how will it affect the town regarding materials that are needed to be able to make sure that whoever's in charge for the town, who's paying for all that stuff? That's basically it.
A few things that did come out of that meeting. One is that the driveway, that they're gonna approve it, make sure it's good enough for access. They also did ask that it not be stone, that it either be asphalt or concrete. We agreed to that. We did agree to supply them and pay for training that would be needed, if they determined they needed training, and the same went for extra equipment as well. So those offers were made. They said that, you know, in the follow-up meeting that I think you'd like to attend,
Yeah.
after they have the full plans in front of them, they'll determine what they may or may not.
Not to interrupt, but clearly we don't have a full board tonight. Unfortunately, two of our members are very ill.
Mhm.
At this point, there is a ton of information that has come in the last 3 days from the building department, from Dan Young's office, that I personally have not had a time to review. I know Mr. Kenny Young has not had time to review, or Mr. Miranda. And I feel it's best at this time, in my opinion, to table this until January. And we reevaluate. I know you presented with the town board. Now you're saying you met with the fire chiefs. I would like to know, and we can speak after the meeting, if you are aware which fire chiefs you
I'll
met with, and
find out.
I'll reach out to them.
Well, yeah,
Or you
Dan,
can
Dan
let
would,
them know and I can reach out to them
Dan would
and
certainly
speak
know.
with them, or I can speak with Dan Young.
Yeah.
About which fire chiefs they were, and then come your follow-up meeting in January, or February. I would hope you speak to the town board and be present. We have no jurisdiction on what they do, but I would hope that they're cognizant of this project as well.
They're aware, and we've presented the project. There's nothing before them at this time because it does have to get through the variance stage before it goes to the town board, but we did want to give them an overview of
The
the
town
project.
board does have overview, and they could have the potential to either place regulations or rezone the property. That is the town board's job.
Right, but until that time, it's within your jurisdiction,
This
which
is
I
correct.
understand. You want to look at things.
But we do want to look at all the information and make an educated decision, and we don't have a full board. So without wasting anyone else's time, go ahead, Ms. Jane.
No, it's okay. I just feel that after reading all this information, which I could get from Dan during the whole month, and I can print all this stuff out and I know it all. No, you're gonna come here and you're gonna tell me you don't have anything here at all to look at. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna give you my stuff.
the only thing I wanted to add is for the use, we did bring, and everybody came in we have people here from Hershey, Pennsylvania, Chicago, Austin, Texas, Connecticut. I just came in from East Aurora, so no big deal for me. But they certainly can answer any questions. But we wanted to supply a lot of this information. As you said, it's outside the scope of the variance. There's two things that you have to consider, and I think you read through the utility use variance standard. It's unlike your typical use variance. Is there a need? And is there another area in the town where this is zoned for this use? And if so, why aren't we using that area? So the need we've demonstrated just from the utility. In terms of the second phase, whether or not there's a different location that's zoned properly, there's no locations in the town that's zoned properly. So we do understand, but that's really the only two things in front of this board is for the use variance standard, just those two
Well,
things.
it's been very difficult in the fact that your projects have been shut down in other municipalities,
I don't understand that. What do you mean?
that they're not allowed in Lackawanna, Grand Island,
Only
West.
one is Lackawanna and it wasn't your project.
There is a project in Lackawanna like this, but it's, when you say shut down, do you mean just
The town board has made a decision.
in those towns? Okay, but I don't know, those aren't our projects, so I'm not sure. We don't have any knowledge of that, but if a town board says, doesn't include it in the zoning, that's why we come to the, in those towns, that person would come to the zoning board of appeals and prove the two things I just explained. So this is just, procedurally to get to the point where we're talking about fire and things like that more in depth in the actual site plan. We've got to get past this step in your role. And I did talk to the town attorney today. I did submit the case law to him. It's just simply, have we demonstrated that the utility feels there's a need for this project? And are there other places it could go that are zoned properly? The second is very easy because there's not. And the first, yes, we've demonstrated the need. That's the criteria for a use variance. That's all that's before you.
And
That's all I have.
so
My only
with that, is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to comment on 3695 Broadway? I'm going to make a motion to table. Is there a second? Second by Miss Heather Alt. On the motion, Ms. Werchak,
No.
Ms. Alt,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So this 3695 Broadway is tabled until January. Thomas Smith, 676 South Huth Road.
Hi, good evening. How's it going?
All right, how are you?
Good.
Let me read your request. The applicant Thomas Smith of 676 South Huth Road proposes a driveway expansion which includes an apron on non-parking side is 11 feet directly in front of the principal dwelling, whereas zoning law does not permit it. I know you were here last month. That's why it's a tabled item. We have the pictures of your driveway that's already in. Just refresh our memory for Ms. Alt, Mr. Kenny Young, and Ms. Werchak, your need for the driveway.
Yes, so I was expanding from a single car driveway that was in a completely dilapidated state. And actually, as far as I could research back the original driveway to the house when the house was built in 1948, just expanding that over to a 2-car driveway to get in and out with a larger vehicle. I currently have myself and my girlfriend living at the house, and we own a boat as well. So we were being cited for parking vehicles on an unpaved surface and not following the town of Cheektowaga code. So with the dilapidated state of the driveway being a safety issue and not following town code being an issue as well, I decided to expand the driveway
there any other questions from the board?
Well, I'm
Go ahead.
wondering, what, he has two variants. The one with, he's on the side where nobody has the driveways. Am I correct?
Yeah, I was gonna go over the concerns that you guys had raised the last time as well.
So if you see that fence in that photo,
Yes,
looking at that fence basically goes down the center of that strip.
actually, so I brought a copy of the property survey for any of the board members who want to take a look at it.
If I
It
would,
details out
actually,
everything.
because that was the question about that strip last month.
Yes, I had emailed Mr. Daniel Young the list of concerns as well, lodged last time. I'll start with your concern, ma'am. It was that the steps hadn't been reinstalled at all. So I have today some pictures of the steps that were to be reinstalled here for your inspection. In regards to your question about the fence on the property line, if you look in the back right corner of the survey, it's actually over onto my line a little bit. So that fence itself, I'm not sure who the owner of it is. I've only lived in the house for the last couple of years. So, but it is according to the survey on my property.
Those are the steps that were reinstalled.
Correct. Yeah, yep, they're in now. Each step going up is less than 12 inches in a drop, so it complies with what I could find for research in the New York State Housing Code. Additionally, the question last time for the board was how wide was the driveway? There was a concern that it was over the allotted footage for a two-car driveway. I believe the maximum was 24 feet and the minimum was 20 feet. The driveway itself at the widest point measures 21 feet. I emailed over this to Daniel Young as well, pictures with measurements being taken of the driveway. I can also turn these over to the board for inspection as well.
Yeah, I'll just take them for the record. Thank you.
The last meeting, I think you said nothing over 27 feet,
Right, so this is 21.
and your total driveway width will be 21.
Correct, at the widest point.
It is 21, it's done. It is 21.
Even with your expansion there.
Yeah, correct. And then I believe the last question from the board last time was who owned the strip of grass between myself and 682 South Youth Road? It looks like it's split right down the middle, right off of the most southeast point on the survey where I have it marked 11 3/4. The driveway itself is 11 3/4 feet off of the southeast corner of the house. And then it is 2 1/4 feet to the property line after that in that grass strip. I have pictures of that as well that I can turn over to the board at this time.
You're welcome to. Yeah, we can put it in your file. I see it on the survey here, because that was one of our questions, if you could move, if you could have gone further, but there's not much to go. Yeah, we'll put it in. Yeah. My only, is there any other questions from the board? Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak on 676 South Huth Road?
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Usually when. Is that okay?
Could you say your name
Linda,
and address?
yeah,
Yes,
34 Princeton, Junior.
Linda Hammer.
Usually when you do a driveway expansion like that, generally it doesn't go across the whole front. You'll have the one-car driveway and then it'll curve over in front of the house. Like this looks like there's a street going through there, like a street going, into the driveway. I mean, that's incredibly wide. I mean, down at the street where people could still be parking out there stuff too, but the driveway is so wide that it's taking up all that space. Oh, that's. but usually, you know what I need?
Yes.
Basically, it'll-
Yeah.
One of the house,
The apron's as big as.
correct.
Can I respond to that if I may?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
So I recognize that, but the standards for a variance to be required in the town of Cheektowaga, and from what you guys say is based off the New York State Housing Code. It's if I alter the size of the driveway, no matter what, I have to request a variance for that. Additionally, like I had mentioned, I'm kind of backing a larger vehicle and a boat in and out as well. One of the issues that I had with the previous size of the apron and the driveway itself is I kept on, not being really able to get that trailer back in there, or sometimes even my truck with how small it was, without making tire ruts on the grass. That was one thing that I was cited for in the past as well from the Cheektowaga Code Enforcement. So with the apron being expanded, it allows me to get in and out of the driveway and it not be unsightly for the neighbors. And as you had previously stated, it's non-parking side. So I'm not taking away any parking from neighbors or anyone who's looking to visit the neighborhood.
I will make a motion to grant the variances as requested with the condition that a permanent buffer be installed for the portion of the driveway that is in front of the dwelling.
Okay.
The length will be the portion of the driveway that is in front of the dwelling. It's more, it's not about deep, it's about the height. It has to be permanent,
Correct.
so it
Yep.
can't just be stacked bricks.
Okay.
So some type of concrete beam that's into the concrete, permanent buffer that if a car was to pull in, they're at least gonna get jolted before they go into the front of the house.
Yeah, that was brought up at the last meeting as well. Perfectly okay with agreeing to those conditions. I did do some research around the neighborhood, down South Youth and Federal Ave. There is at least 8 or so houses that I was able to see that don't have that buffer zone in front of the house. Again, not, disagreeing or trying to argue with the motion at all, just saying that, it is kind of commonplace in that neighborhood when they expand the driveway to not have that buffer zone, but certainly agreeable conditions. That's what I figured. I just figured I'd bring it up.
I appreciate you bringing it up, but yes, it's illegal.
Okay,
And if they did not get approval for their driveways, they're illegal.
okay, perfectly understood. What are the conditions entailed? Do I have to come back with the drawing? Do I have
No.
to submit something?
No, so my motion is to grant your variances as you requested, the way the driveway is installed,
Okay,
what you requested,
yes,
with the condition that you have a barrier the length of the driveway that is in front of the dwelling. So basically from your stairs to the corner of the house.
okay,
That is permanent.
okay.
You can decide. We can't tell you how to decorate your house. We can just say we want a permanent buffer there. So if someone is to pull in, there's something there.
I had a couple of ideas.
Like flowers or bushes or something instead of concrete. Because that's an invitation for somebody to park there.
Well, do you want to have a suggestion on the condition?
No, I think there should be a condition, but not necessarily concrete.
Okay, so what would you like to?
I'd like a plantings. You're just like anybody else's houses with bushes or whatever,
So do you want the condition to be landscaping?
landscaping exactly.
I can agree to that. That's fine.
Be a lot cheaper too.
Correct. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I will amend my motion.
Okay.
To grant the variances as requested, both variances, with the condition that there is landscaping installed in front of the dwelling.
Okay.
For the length of the driveway in front of the dwelling.
Okay. Yeah, yep. Yep, what I can do is I can actually just take and saw cut it back with a hole saw or something and then just install some landscaping, kind of the same length out from the house as what you see the flower beds are on the other side where there's no driveway. Yeah, my neighbor,
Motion,
yeah.
Ms. Alt.
Aye.
my neighbor told me about it, the requirement for it. He's like, we're gonna make you do that. So,
And I vote aye. All right, you're all set.
thank you so much.
All right, our last tabled item is Al Muzman Chaherdi, 2581 Genesee Street. Is there anyone in the audience, or let me read his request? The applicant, Al Muzman Chaherdi of 2581 Genesee Street, proposes the installation of a 6-foot fence that is 20 inches from the side property line, where zoning law permits a maximum height of 3.5 feet. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to comment on 2581 Genesee Street? As I was informed, 2581 Genesee Street was posted incorrectly. It will be reposted, so my motion is to table for our January meeting. Second by Mrs. Wertschok. On the motion, Ms. Alt?
Aye.
Wertschok? And I vote aye. So 2581 Genesee Street is tabled until January. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn by Ms. Wertschok at 7:44 PM.
I'll second that.
Second by Mrs. Alt. 7:44. On the motion, Ms. Alt?
Aye.
Ms. Wertschok? And I vote aye. Meeting is adjourned.